I have dedicated my previous episode to importance of defining target audiences for a new digital product. I have taken MeetMe ad app as a use case, started with just one target audience and concluded with 4. What does that mean? With one target audience, I have one market I can attack. With 4, I have 4 markets I can approach. What does that mean? If I was wrong with 3 of those, I still have one market, one target audience I can still approach, and I can still succeed. Does that mean that my product needs to be built as such that it's accommodated for all different target audiences? It does sound like it, but it is an incorrect assumption. So let's talk about main value propositions and importance of defining them based on the target audiences and how this assumption is wrong. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do that here. First of all, what are main value propositions? These are values your product will provide to your end users, to your target audience, right? So why do we need them? They're the reason why your end users will use your product and the foundation of your future business. How come? Because if your product provides value to someone, there are obviously ways to monetize it. We're going to take 3 actions in this milestone. First one being generalize target audiences into obvious groups. Why are we doing this? In our use case, we have 4. You may have 15. We can't think about them separately as they're at the end all users on one app. So we need to recognize shared common values between all of them. Now it's very important by this stage that you have finalized your work on the milestone number 1, which we had discussed a few weeks back. As if you have defined the core of your product well and you're happy with it, it will be easier to define what are the values for all of your target audiences. To remind, in the MeetMe app, target audiences we have defined are friends with active social lifestyle, which means entertainment. Then we have recreational athletes, we have tourists and travelers, and we have people in business, entrepreneurs, startups, doesn't matter. What is obvious here? We have obviously identified 2 groups. We have social users and business users. Now, it sounds like too obvious, too generalized, so it is, but it gives us a good foundation to discuss the values. What is important, we always have to keep in mind who our target audiences are. Now that we have identified that we have business users and social users, we can already start thinking about monetization as obviously something that's social and basic you can provide for free, but something that's advanced even for social users and directly targeted for business users, that's something you can monetize. So why I'm talking about this? It explains the value of this process. Let's start from the beginning. In the first milestone, we have defined what the product is. Based on that, we can define who the target audiences are. Now that we know the target audiences, now we can think about values we're providing to them, and now that we have values that we give them, we can think about monetization. So all these processes are very tied together, and you have to think about and work on them throughout the entire process. In the action number 2, we are going to define primary and secondary main value propositions for each of the target audience groups we have identified. Primary main value propositions are values that are obvious values derived from product definition we conceived in milestone number 1. This can be further broken down and elaborated, which leads us to secondary main value propositions, and these are natural extension of the primary ones. I'm gonna go again into details of a use case of MeetMe app, so this boring theory makes sense. I'm cross-referencing values that are primary, secondary, social, and business, and concluding if these values are commonly shared between the target audience groups we have identified. As the MeetMe app is progressing in the same manner as we're progressing with the episodes, I have prepared these values, and I'm gonna use the table as the notes, as the help to go through this. So we have 4 primary ones. First one, value of knowing where somebody is reaching a destination in this process that we have. Second, knowing whereabouts of the people in the group that has a goal to meet at certain destination. Third and fourth, very tied together, value of anonymous location sharing and value of secure location sharing amongst a group of people. Let's go to the secondary ones. Allows planning of activity in relation to early arrival of invitees to destination. Second one, allows planning of activity in relation to in-time arrival of invitees to destination. And likewise, allows planning of activity in relation to late arrival of invitees to destination. Okay, we've broken down into more details. 4, reduces risks of someone in the group getting lost when at familiar location. It improves safety of a group. It allows pin and point navigation at locations without mapped roads or paths. Please listen again if you haven't listened carefully. We have 4 primary ones and we have extracted 6 secondary ones which are logical extension of the primary ones. As the last step, the third action, we need to conclude if these values we have identified match or differ for each of the target audience groups. I'll share the document with you on my Medium. Please go check it there. There's going to be a table with values which are categorized as primary and secondary, and my social and business target audience groups. I have gone through those and checked each one and identified that these match. But for the sake of the argument, let's just touch base on one which is probably questionable, and that is the value which refers to the safety of the group which travels together. Why would be this of interest to a business travel group? I can see the value of family traveling together, or excursion of kids, you know, on a road, but why business? Let's take this example. What if I go with 2 of my colleagues on important meeting in the other city or country, and we have 1 day in advance? We need to meet and conclude the deal. If somebody gets drunk a night before, gets robbed, gets lost, we might compromise the deal. So we increase safety of a group to be stuck together, and safety of a business that we actually arrive together to conclude the deal by using this app. So that's how I'm concluding that this use case even has matching value for both social and business. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, I really hope I brought you value with this episode of the Digital Product Concepting and Innovation. Go ahead, subscribe, share this, pass it on, and let me know what you think.